Hi, it's Charlie. I am at Cobham where I've been to Antonio Conte's press conference, and I'm going to bring you the 5 key things that came out of his press conference here today. The first of which is Eden Hazard. Now he is set to make the squad for the trip to Leicester tomorrow. It's a huge boost for Chelsea and Conte, of course, after he had that really good international break with Belgium. He made 2 substitute appearances against Gibraltar and Greece, and Conte confirmed that at the very least he will make his squad tomorrow. Now, of course, with that Champions League game coming up next week and that big game against Arsenal, I think Conte will opt to have Hazard start on the bench but then come on as a sub at some point in the second half. Now, the second key point from this press conference was whether or not new signing Danny Drinkwater will make his debut against his former side Leicester tomorrow. Now, Drinkwater, of course, was the final signing for Chelsea on transfer deadline day, but he hasn't played this season because of that minor groin injury. So, Conte was asked, will he get the chance to have his debut against his former side at the King Power Stadium? And all Conte would say is he doesn't yet know when he'll be ready. I think he'll be part of the squad, but it remains to be seen whether or not he'll get the chance to play against his former teammates on Saturday. Now, the third thing that came out of this press conference, and one that was a really interesting talking point, was why Ross Barkley did not complete a move from Everton to Chelsea. Now, of course, in terms of what we know, Chelsea and Everton had agreed a fee for him, and he was quite close to becoming a Chelsea player, but he pulled out at the 11th hour. Now, Everton's majority shareholder, Mashiri, came out later and said that Barkley had undergone a medical, something which Barkley refuted. He said that he pulled out because, of course, he is injured and he wanted to make a better decision about his future in January. Now, there were some reports that came out after that whole failed transfer about whether or not Conte was prevented from the Chelsea hierarchy from contacting Barkley personally, and Joe Barton coming out and saying that he had heard Conte's phone had been switched off, and that's why Barkley's representatives couldn't contact him and get the deal over the line. Now, all Conte would say about those stories was that they are ridiculous. We understand that Conte didn't have his phone switched off, and he was never prevented from speaking to Barkley personally, but it was a really interesting comment from Conte. He didn't look impressed. He just said those stories are ridiculous. Now, the other thing that Conte was asked about, and he continues to be asked about, is Diego Costa. Conte and Chelsea would not elaborate further about Costa and whether or not he will return to Chelsea, because of course he has been included in Chelsea's Premier League squad, but not the Champions League one. But the club continue to remain silent over this whole thorny issue. But yeah, it remains to be seen whether or not we'll even see him back in training at any point in the next few weeks. And the final thing that came out of Conte's press conference is, how tough will Leicester be to play tomorrow? Because of course, Chelsea, they have recovered from that loss against Burnley on opening day of the Premier League campaign. They beat Spurs away at Wembley, and they beat Everton before the international break. They were looking for all 3 points against a Leicester side that have only claimed 3 points from 3 games this season. But Conte said that he thinks Leicester will be a really tough proposition at the King Power Stadium on Saturday.